Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the next episode of Seeds of Bravery podcast. And in our podcast, we usually talk about the startup journey, about the challenges the startups face, and of course, different details on how we can support startups as Seeds of Bravery. So, for those who listen to us for the first time and haven't heard of the previous podcast, I just want to recap that Seeds of Bravery is a 2-year project financed by European Commission and European Innovation Council, where we help Ukrainian startups in deep tech to foster their startup journey. And I'm your host today, Oksana Krykun. I'm a head of innovation and entrepreneurship at Innovate, and today we have with us Dan Matsui, co-founder of Caretech Human, a Ukrainian deep tech health tech startup developing AI-powered solutions for in-home remote patient monitoring. So, Denise, welcome to our podcast today.
Hi, guys, and great to be here today with you.
So, Denise, we prepared several questions to you, to get better about you, your startup, and about your startup journey. And the first one, who are the founders of startup, where they are from, and what are their professional background?
So I'm the solo founder of this startup. I launched in 2020. So my background is initially I was the scientist. I did my PhD in physics, studying sensing nanomaterials. Then I switched gears to entrepreneurship journey. I developed 3 companies that were successfully acquired in 2015, 2016. And then for a couple of years, I was the head of state-owned enterprise in Ukraine. It is like the daughter of Ministry of Health of Ukraine. And my mission was to lead the digital transformation of primary healthcare sector in Ukraine. So currently the product that you're using when you visit doctors, that's what we've developed with so-called state-owned enterprise e-health. And during this period, we're supported by multiple international donor projects like USAID and other programs. And we had numerous opportunities to engage with C-level healthcare executives all over the world, from India, UK, France, United States, Canada. And that's where I personally had great opportunity to learn more about the healthcare and about the challenges in healthcare globally. And that was the aha moment when I learned and identified the problem. And also I realized that I have understand the solution that can fuel the product to tackle this healthcare challenges. So that's my background.
Awesome. And usually I'm asking startup founders because you are the one who was in science before, and some of the listeners will be from the science field. So what was your motivation and how did you manage to jump from the science to business and connect the both?
Yeah, great question. So scientific journey was awesome. I had very interesting area of scientific research. As I said, we were developing nanomaterials focused on sensing application. It was like fundamental work of how these materials are built, their fundamental properties. We collaborated with universities all over the world, especially with German universities and from France, and that was great journey period. But I'm more focused. My personal area of interest is like more applied things. I'm more interested in technologies that can be applied and can turn into products in like 5-10 years. So that's why I decided to quit this fundamental study work and focus on more applied areas.
Mm-hmm. So you went from the fundamental science to more practical and applied one.
Exactly.
Awesome. And you just elaborated a bit more. How did the product originated when you were working in the health industry and health system? But can you tell more about your product and about Caretech to the listeners who are hearing of you for the first time, and how and why has it evolved?
Yeah, sure. So imagine you're living now in your apartment, and if you look above, you can often see the smoke detector, right? When something happens, and this is a device that we're get used to. It is very passive, but in case something happens, there is a fire. It alerts you, alerts fire workers. So it's like a passive solution that provides very high level of security. And our idea is the same, but in healthcare domain. So we developed a totally integrated product, a small device that simply attached to your toilet bowl in your living apartment or house. And every time you go and do your regular things in the restroom, it collects data, right? And with these data, we can provide a lot of insights regarding your health status, whether you have like deviations from the normal conditions, whether whether there are some illnesses. Advantage of our technology is that we don't have any consumables, so you don't have to maintain your solution. Now, the technology is low cost, so we are targeting mass market. Our end goal is to have millions of people to use our solution. So the price is not a barrier, and also our technology can detect multiple or a lot of biomarkers, and we have a product rollout plan. So we'll continuously integrate new disease detection algorithm and technologies to our product, but the hardware component will stay the same.
And what are the use cases for the product usage? So, I mean, like, who will benefit from this product in terms of the stakeholders as well as the end users?
Yeah, great question. We have three stakeholders in the healthcare world. So normally we have like people, we have doctors, and we have payers. In some countries, payers are like public, like government or like country. In some countries, there are insurance companies like private insurance companies, but that's like the stakeholder map includes three stakeholders. And for all of them, we have separate and unique value propositions. So people benefit by continuous monitoring, alerting them that when they approach some acute conditions or a new disease is coming, or if they, let's say, they can receive the report about their treatment progress. For doctors, they got digital objective information about symptoms, right? So in many healthcare domains, so we're starting with urology. Our first product application will be in urology. And for instance, in urology, people normally share, they don't have means or products to share objective data with their doctors. So nothing similar to glucometers or blood pressure monitors. Normally, during the first consultations or remote consultations, they just share subjective symptoms. Well, I start waking up at night more often. I have like urgency symptoms or something like that. So, and we're going to provide digital and objective information to doctors, which will enhance their decision-making process, data-driven decision-making progress, and obviously make the treatment process more effective. And the last stakeholder, which is payers, they will benefit by reducing costs.
Of course, when you're talking about your product, I imagine some, like futuristic films and videos about the future of health, and this is, of course, partially the part of this ecosystem. So
Exactly.
Yeah, and can you name the key milestones of developing the startup and the product as of now? Because some founders will be listening to us, and they will also have the hardware products as well as with the software. So probably you can elaborate on this a bit more.
We're tackling one of the most challenging areas because healthcare is very regulated. On the other hand, we're working on hardware on the solution which has hardware component. Hardware is also a challenge for many investors because it's hard to develop. There are a lot of risks related to that. So the first thing we had to do when we started our journey is to confirm the proof of concept that our solution works, right? And we partner with several institutions in Ukraine and outside the Ukraine, in US, in Europe, to confirm the initial that again our product works. That was the proof of concept period, and then we started working on architecture, on how to make our product cheap, how to make it how to make it easy, how to make it let's say easy to produce. We advanced our AI component, we tested on real patients, and then we engaged in clinical trials because the before you start selling something, you need to show the efficacy, and the only way to show efficacy in healthcare is to do clinical trials. So now we are ready. Now we're in the stage when we are getting ready for bulk production. So we have early adopters, we have clients who are looking, waiting for our product to be available commercially. So yeah, we're moving from stealth mode to commercialization. That's where we're currently at.
So as I understand right now, you're in this commercialization mode and you're looking for the customers. What are the next frontiers which you envision in the upcoming months?
Yeah, I would say during this year, we need to get ready for bulk production. It means that we need to have the quality management system in place. We need to have some alignment with ISO certificates. We need to find vendors. We need to develop the requirements for those vendors. We need to negotiate with them. So it's like a lot of things to do to get ready, to produce tens, thousands of devices which is scheduled for the next year.
And looking back at these milestones of your startup development, what was the hardest part to you, and what was the most challenging part?
Yeah, I would say that for hardware startups, and again especially in healthcare, the most challenging part is that you are not always able to iterate very quickly. So if you're doing software product, you can overnight do some modifications of your technology, launch marketing campaign, have some users test on them, do A/B testing and something like that, and quickly iterate. With hardware product, the iteration, we're pretty good with iteration, but it still takes like 1-2 months because you need to order components, you need to redesign, reproduce, and this kind of stuff. So the most challenging part for us is to do quick iterations, and we did some mistakes with our product positioning, and we had to step back and rethink our strategy, and it was challenging. So it's not so quick as I would like it to move.
Thanks for talking about that, because I think that for lots of startups, especially in hardware, it will be really it will be needed to hear that. And let's talk about the people, because of course every startup is about people who are standing behind this startup. So tell us more about the team. Who do you have on a team, and also how many people are there on a team right now?
Yeah, so of course it's hard to overestimate the word team. As I'm solo founder from the very beginning, I was looking for talents to join us. So currently there are around 10 people working with us. We have chief medical officer from US, Stanford graduated guy with huge experience in healthcare and digital innovations. We have head of embedded and chief technological officer, both with experience in healthcare and AI development, and importantly, they have like products from scratch to commercialization in their portfolio. And we're supported by very powerful advisory board, urologists from United States and other countries, right? We have people to cover all areas where we need expertise, domain expertise. So yeah, I would say we have great team, frankly, very good team, excellent.
Wow. And, like I'm working with the startups right now, especially as a head of this acceleration program. And it's my honor to have you on this program too. And I'm usually asked by startups the question, okay, Oksana, but how to attract the best talent from the market, because right now there is a ton of different startups. So what is your probably top one recommendation for all of the founders who want to attract best advisors, best team on a startup? So what should they do, or what should they focus at?
Yeah, I would. We're always looking for value motivated people. So we were bootstrapping for a long period of time. We won grants, but I also spent some money from our previous exits, and so we're bootstrapping. So we were not able to offer like good or competitive salary, but we were looking for people who are interested to change the life of millions of people, who are interested in cool technology like deep tech startup, who is interested to who have domain knowledge. And the for local people, we have a team member, Irina, who is responsible for like talent management. She was actively looking for best people in the industry, and I was personally paying a lot of attention to sell the idea of working with us to them. For our overseas partners or collaborators, the LinkedIn was one of the mechanisms that I've used, and we often start working with them by like problem interviews. So I've engaged with them firstly to just do the problem interview, ask them whether we are targeting the real problem, and then build relations, and that's all about value motivation. Now we're able to pay something, but normally it's all about making the future.
Yeah, thank you for elaborating on that, because actually one of the things which I'm also talking about is that sometimes to find the best person to work with, you need first to ask them as an expert about if this problem exists, and ask about their opinion, and then you will see also if they can help you with, and or you might be interesting to them.
One of the best courses about biodesign courses are from Stanford, and the cornerstone idea there is the first that you don't need to invent like technology, you need to understand the problem. So the problem to understand the problem is the toughest thing. And in healthcare, again, when you're targeting customer market, you just need to go to people and ask whether you, Bob or John or Mary, has this particular problem, right? But when you're dealing with complex stakeholder map, you need to interview all stakeholders. You need to understand that all stakeholders, that you provide some value, or you identify a problem that relates to all stakeholders, like again, patients, providers, payers.
Yeah, of course. And I also love the design thinking course by Stanford. They are also talking a lot about customer development, learning the jobs to be done, and how to close these problems. So, yeah.
Yeah, last year we were selected. We were invited to Cornell Life Science Venture Incubator. So we're part
Wow.
of. So actually, yeah, we're part of Cornell ecosystem, and that gave us access to a lot of courses. And then we're learning a lot. Like we're like students taking online courses, and the design thinking is one of the best also courses.
And like to all of the startups who are listening to us, we really advise you to get into the understanding the customer, understanding the problem, and analyzing the different stakeholders. Because right now you see that, especially in a strong domains and in complicated domains, you will have different stakeholders who will be interested in your solution.
Yeah, and value proposition for all of them is completely different.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, and you already touched base a bit the development cost and also the financing part, because you said that you were bootstrapping yourself. But tell us also, where did the funding came from during the startup development experience, and also what are your future financial plans, if you can elaborate on this too.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Thank you. So initially, we were supported by Ukrainian Startup Fund. We appreciate that support. We won 2 grants from them. Also, we had some big IT company just helped us for free to develop the proof of concept trials. They invested. They didn't invest money directly, but they just provided the engineers. That was huge. Afterwards, we won, I don't remember, maybe 10 grants, small grants from some CRDF, from other companies. And also we were awarded the Google for Startup grant 2 years ago, something like that. So yeah, that was the combination of, bootstrapping, strapping private funds and grant support. And our now we are ready for investment round. So I think as soon as we'll, by the end of this year, we'll be raising a seed round.
Awesome. Let's talk about the monetization model. Yep, and like the business model part of the project. So tell us where the monetization lies, because you have different stakeholders. Who pays what? And also, how much does it cost to use your product?
Yeah, our business model is, we call it devices as a service business model with some digital add-ons. It sounds complicated, but to simply put, we lease device to doctors. They recommend our devices to patients. As soon as patient use the device, there is a data that can be analyzed by doctor. As soon as the doctor analyzes it, that's a billable procedure. And in many countries we're targeting, in all countries we are targeting, this can be reimbursed by payers. Okay, so payers are paying to doctors. Patients on the stage. So the journey is the patient journey start when they first see the doctor. So we're not targeting now patients who do not have any diseases. We target patients who have like first interaction with doctor. Okay. And during treatment phase, the use of solution is fully reimbursed. And then patients have an option. If they like our solution, they can extend use of it by doing subscription. And during this subscription period, besides like several like, let's say €7 payment, they can do also digital add-ons for several dollars to have advanced analytics and some other features.
And talking back to pricing model, yep. How did you validate the hypothesis on the price? And did you look at the competition and how much already the final patients are paying for this problem, or there were another kind of inspirational items which you paid attention to?
Yeah, for reimbursement money, or the money that insurance is gonna pay, we were limited by the reimbursement codes. So there are codes, and there is a setup amount they can pay. So we designed a solution to meet these numbers, right? And so our unit economy would work. And for the out-of-pocket after treatment period, we did price elasticity tests. So we engage users, we ask them about, we asked them some problem research questions, and then we presented our solution. Then we asked them how much they would like to pay.
Okay, so you did this price sensitivity analysis on them. Awesome. And talking back to the customers who can use this service, we already discussed, but are there any well-known companies among your clients already? And can you share probably any interesting case studies?
Yeah, there are very good and big companies, but unfortunately I cannot share them right away because we're
NDA.
negotiating details. Not an NDA, but it's like commercially not effective to do that right away.
So no cases as of now, but hopefully sometimes in the future we can subscribe to your company somewhere
Yeah.
on LinkedIn and hear more.
Yeah, sure. No public announcement yet, I would say.
Hopefully it will be soon. So okay, and what do you expect from participating in Seeds of Bravery project?
First of all, there are pretty good education projects that you've offered, where we have subscribed for 2 of them, and also with funds you provide, we would do the most important thing is get prepared to bulk production. Again, quality management system, advance our go-to-market approach, because we have the business plan developed, but we need to elaborate on details, how to, customer segmentations, marketing instruments that we use. So we need to work on details. That's what we're gonna work.
Awesome. I just want to outline that we have a catalog for non-financial services for all of the program participants, and there is a ton of different and useful materials from matchmaking to startup soft landing, etc. So yeah, hopefully you can also discover some additional things which might be crucial for you and will help you to develop your startup soon. And let's talk about the niche a bit more. So this health stack, like niche you are in right now. So how do you envision the future of this niche, and what are updates, adaptations, any additional trends which you envision there will be in the future, which the startups who are working either with this or in this niche need to know?
And the main trend in healthcare is that healthcare is getting far too expensive for most countries, right? So and the GDP cost for healthcare is way too expensive. So and this trend is caused by several things. The first one is the number of aging population. So people are getting old, right? And the second thing, they're living longer. So they demand more healthcare, and that's why. And also the technologies in healthcare are becoming more expensive. So most of the countries, not to say all of the countries, are looking for technologies to reduce costs in healthcare. Right. So when we started our company, we're thinking about, hey, we obviously provide huge value, but nobody really care about the huge value. They care about small value, but reduced costs. So when you're designing a company in healthcare, you don't need to think about big or huge, monumental value proposition, right? You need to think about small advantages, but significantly focus on how this technology will reduce costs. And I'm talking now about the healthcare, not consumer market. So there are two markets, like wellness market, when people do out of pocket payments, or if we're talking about healthcare. I'm talking about healthcare. I know a lot more about healthcare. So that's the main thing. And I think the trend in healthcare is AI, of course. So doctors and again, why AI? Not because of the technology, because healthcare managers need to reduce costs. And how they can reduce costs? By reducing the amount of people, manual or human workforce involved in the treatment or diagnostic process, right? And AI could be the game changer. There are a lot of digital startups focusing on how to optimize the working processes inside the clinics, or how to reduce the billing procedure, payment procedure, like appointment procedure, these kind of things.
Whoa, thank you, Dan, so much for this part of the information. And I think to all of the listeners who are listening to us today, it will be really interesting not only to hear about your product and what you are building right now, but also about the whole health industry and, like what's going on there. So probably there is something else which you would love to share with us, but I didn't ask you before, because I have one very last question, and then, I would love you to
go ahead with your question. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, so what is as startups are listening to us, and usually having a startup, it's a leap of faith. You need to jump into something unknown. So what is your one advice to startup founders, especially in deep tech startups, so that they can be motivated to start and work on their startup?
Well, you will not like my advice, because my advice is, if you cannot do the startup, don't do the startup. if you are comfortable working for a corporation, go and work for a corporation. Because startup is challenging. Founder's role is challenging. I recently, there is one Elon Musk interview. I'm not sure that it's like a recent one, but he say that all problems go to founders in the startup. Founders never deal with good things in the startup. If everything goes okay somewhere, founders is not paying attention, because it's going okay. When there is a pain, it's always the founder's role to tackle it. So startups and the chance to get successful in startup world is very, very low. So we hear a lot of stories about startups, but in fact, real founders, they cannot do anything else. They want to do startups. If you're this kind of person, go and do startup. If not, go to the corporation. Much more, sometimes bigger money, and often less risky money.
So, dear startups, if you are listening to this, if you love pain and love uncertainty, please, this journey
if you
is
like
for you.
pain, if you like pain, go to the startup.
Awesome. So when listening to you, I understood that still startup founders are really brave, and I want to thank you once again for participating in this podcast and sharing your experience and your future plans. And we really wish you good luck with your future endeavors, and we will help you as much as possible during these next steps.
Thank you, Oksana, for this wonderful time during this interview.
Thank you, Dan, a lot. And thanks to all of the participants. Please stay with us for more Seeds of Bravery podcasts and listen to more beautiful stories about the founders who participate in Seeds of Bravery and building their own startups. So probably you can be inspired, or you would love to know more, or you can participate in other potential investor role in these startups. Thank you, and stay with us.